Mobile phones has undoubtedly became a part and icon of our daily lives. Did you know that people have more access to mobile phones than toilets? It's crazy to think about how much this small device has evolved and brought in different aspects to our lives today, such that people use their phones while being on the toilet. I'm Jade, and I'll be talking about the evolution of mobile phones. To start with the evolution of mobile phones, let's take a trip back to 1973. On April 3rd, Martin Cooper, the engineer of Motorola, had made the first ever public call from a mobile phone to their rival telecommunications company using the chunky DynaTAC phone.
And I said, "Hi, Joel. This is Marty Cooper." He says, "Hi, Marty. Joel, I'm calling you from a cell phone, but a real cell phone, a handheld, personal, portable cell phone. What do you think of that?" Silence on the other end of the line. I could only imagine what he was thinking, and I suspect he was gritting his teeth.
But it was never released for commercial use until a decade later. But before that, on 1982 December 26, Nokia had released their first commercial mobile phone, Mobira Senator, that used the 1G's wireless cellular technology and weighed a hefty 10 kilograms. Let's take a moment to appreciate the technology these days for not letting us use this anymore. Anyways, back to Motorola. They released the DynaTAC 8000X to the public with a whopping price of $4,000 USD. Following it up with another decade, the most notable release would be Nokia's 1011 model, the first ever mobile phone that can be used all over the world, thanks to the GSM network and the 2G wireless cellular technology. Have you ever wondered about when the first touchscreen quote-unquote smartphone was released? Well, here's the answer. IBM Simon in 1994 featured a touchscreen display and pre-installed apps like address book, calculator, calendar, work clock, and more. Flip phones. Everyone has seen one. Or have they? I'm not sure about the newest generation of kids, but I, for sure, owned a flip phone before. When were they first introduced though? In February 26, 1996, Motorola created yet another revolution to the mobile phone scene. With a slick-looking design and lightweight model, this phone quickly started a new wave and paved the way for flip phones today. This next one that I'm going to talk about is a groundbreaking feature in mobile phones that we love today. The first mobile phone with internet connectivity was the Nokia 9000 communicator in 1996, but it was extremely limited due to its high prices. The birth of mobile phone internet services would be the iMode launch in Japan back in 1999. The Nokia 7110 brought in some groundbreaking features that we have come to love today. The ringtones, the snake game, and it was also one of the first phones to introduce mobile phone internet access. Colors. We love them. They bring all sorts of joy and vibrance to life. The first ever phone to introduce colors in them was the Siemens S10 back in 1997, although it was just 4 colors. Nowadays, you can't go on social media without seeing someone's picture of their puppy or lunch. When was the first camera phone launched though? Back in the 2000s, Sharp launched the first ever camera phone, JS04, patented to Japan so it didn't garner a massive spark in mobile phone camera photography. That was done by Sony Ericsson T68i in 2002 that made the Western markets take interest in camera phones. Nokia 3310, remarkable to this day and date, known as the monster unbreakable and long-lasting phone by the general public, was released in the year 2002. It sold a whopping 125 million models and popularized the snake game. Recognize this song? The song was popularized by ringtones and gradually ended up at number 1 in UK charts for 4 weeks. Crazy, huh? While many features were added now and then throughout the early 2000s, like video recording, 3G in 2003, the famous Walkman, camera quality improving rapidly, more storage and internal RAM, the iPhone in 2007 was a truly revolutionary and groundbreaking mobile phone that completely restructured the mobile phone market, and it paved the way for smartphones that we know today. It introduced the fully touchscreen phone, more mobile apps, and App Store from iOS. From then on, phone companies like Nokia, Motorola, and Sony Ericsson started slowly falling out of the market and competition. After that, 4G connection was tested successfully in 2009 but never launched for consumers until 2012. Throughout 2011 and 2014, more and more smartphone companies like Samsung, Apple, Google, HTC, etc. were skyrocketing into the market, taking over the millennial companies. From this era, fingerprint scanning, voice control, wireless charging, facial recognition, full HD screen, and even a heart rate monitor were all introduced in the smartphone. Isn't it truly fascinating how we went from just being impressed by wireless calling someone to being able to do all this stuff in a span of 20 years? And I'm not even done yet. Like how teenagers grow in a span of months, smartphones were growing taller and taller, bigger and bigger with each launch, and removing their notches and buttons for this full screen experience. Smartphones were doing everything someone needed in their lives, from locking your door, checking your CCTV, becoming your credit card, to even buying your groceries. It could do basically anything. Apple's iPhone X in 2017 created a new wave of full-screen displays. Despite not being the first one to create it, it was truly the one that pushed the notchless and buttonless agenda to the smartphone scene. From then on, smartphones created tiny hole-punch selfie cameras and pop-out cameras for this maximum screen experience. And just recently, ZTE created the first ever completely full-screen phone with an under-display selfie camera. Though it's not perfect, but it sparked a light in the 100% full-screen phone future. Smartphones featured more and more cameras, as users prioritize photos the most these days, and it's not even uncanny to see a phone with 7 cameras now. There are smartphones that work on both sides, smartphones that can fold in halves, smartphones with 2 displays, foldable tablets, flip phone-like smartphones, and so many more that I can't just talk about in just one video. Although they are innovative, some didn't receive positive reactions by the public, for it being not useful or just so new that the technology it's using is still bad. And the recent buzz from the smartphone scene is the newly introduced 5G technology. With its ultra-fast download speed, mobile gaming and video streaming capabilities, smartphone companies are striving to create the best 5G phone. As of now, 5G is only really available in the UK and US, but I'm positive that it will come to Malaysia soon. I am extremely excited and looking forward for what future technology has in the bag for us. And that marks the end of my presentation and video. Thank you so much for sticking to the end, and stay safe.